Then you go last to an 8 out of 10 class. And a 10 out of 10. And then we got your buzzer, it's Kitt! Hello everybody! My name is Kitt, like Max just said. Physically I'm just a bigger version of Max, I was thinking. I'm just a slightly larger version of Max. This is my first stand-up gig. You won't believe it when you hear the material that I haven't worked out how to write. I did learn some things. I learned at it's unbelievable. I've got like the most tech-heavy front row of all time. Laptop guy here, Raquel. I saw you. No, you're holding your phone, Raquel. I saw. And you've got this guy, Two Phones Tommy, on the right here. I should never go to him because he's I think he's the only guy here to support me. Thanks. Cheers. Really appreciate it, mate. I really appreciate it. But one thing I did learn in the course is that I'm not a huge fan of jokes, and I found out very quickly, and it's something I know from my life, is that thankfully, due to, and this is one thing I did learn, you've got to talk about yourself. I'm a Geordie person, which really helps because in everyday life people just kind of laugh at your voice when you're Geordie, which is terrible for like jobs. But for like stand-up comedy, it's got me through this 8-week course, which I really appreciate. And you know, it's been going well. I'm basically an expert now. I turned up at 4 of the classes out of the 8. So I mean, really, it's going very well. But so anyway, as I said, the kind of thing I need to talk about is my Geordiness, because it's all I've got going apart from the double denim. So that's what I'm going to talk about. So basically, well, there's a few things about being Geordie. There's only a few cities in the country that bring this sort of attention, and one of them's like Birmingham. People like always just, oh, Curry, you know, they'll just say a thing. But like most other places don't get this kind of attention. And with being a Geordie, like, people say certain things, people will just, you know, give you their best shot of your accent straight back at you, and you kind of just wait until they're finished, like all the words they know, and then when they're finished, they're like this at the end of it. They're like, "You're my link," like this, and you're going to be so happy that you just give them your firstborn, and obviously that it grinds you down when you live in London for 11 years. But there's a few other things that happen. People constantly mention the wildlife documentary Geordie Show, which I've only seen 5 minutes of, but it's incredibly, it really gets in there. It's very true to life. The older people mention Get Carter, which is not a big thing, it's fine, it's quite classic, you know, so I kind of let that one go. But everyone mentions Biker Grove, and I really want to just kind of go, I really want to go, yeah, nice one, but sadly, it's like particularly relevant to my life, because my mum was the head stylist on Biker Grove. And that's actually true. So like, every time they come at me with the accent, they come at me with Get Carter, they come at me with Geordie Show, they bring over their friend who's from Newcastle, and I'm going to be like, oh, wow. and you know, and then they mention Biker Grove, and I'm like, fuck, they've actually got a thing on me now. It's like when you say, oh, you're from Australia, oh, do you know Dave? But anyway, but they actually hit it on the money. And the thing about, I was 8 years old, my mum was doing Biker Grove. I'm not 9. But she was doing Biker Grove, and she was doing a bloody good job of it, may I say. And I used to say to her, I was like, Mum, like, I want to be on Biker Grove. I mean, of course I can be on Biker Grove, because you are, and you work there, so of course. And my mum was like, no, kids. And I was like, why not? I'm like 8, I'm ready to go. Like, I just want to be on Biker Grove, Mum. And she was like, Kid, I don't want you to get too famous too soon. And I just had this idea. At the time, I was a very serious kid. I always think to myself that like I was as serious as like, you know, a politician until I hit about 13 and started to mess about a bit. So I was just like, I understand. And that, sorry, coughing. Can't do that when you go pro. But yeah, so anyway, and I had this idea of my mum, you know, she's too worried. She's like, if I let him out into the world, people will just see him and just be blinded by the light. They will just not be able to just hold him back from immediate fame. I need to keep him hidden away in some sort of room in the house and just keep him occupied, because he's like the opposite of the Elephant Man. I just need to, like, if people will be obsessed. Now, as soon as I got out in the world, when I was like 9 or something, I realised that this wasn't the case. But not before. My mum actually started as the head stylist, as I mentioned before. She would get all the clothes in. And Biker Grove, you know, pretty much, I would say probably 75% of people here probably have never heard of this show, but it was about a youth club in Newcastle, a certain area of Newcastle called Biker. and it was the Biker Grove. And basically my mum would put the clothes on these kids, working class kids, you know, that had a hard time. That was a big part of the drama of the whole thing. And basically I would have to wear the clothes because the kids can't look like they got new clothes, you see, working class. So, but I was 8, and even though I'm a big lad now, at 8 I wasn't that much of a big lad. So I'd be like rocking into like a non-uniform day in like, you know, turquoise shirt and short combo, orange LA gears and like a purple naff. And I'd turn up for the first time, and I was like, I thought I was on fire, right? And people would just hammer me, all the older kids would take the piss out of me, all that kind of thing. And I realised because I wasn't a big lad, I was being made to wear all the girls' clothes. which was a bit of a killer, but it sharpened me up. So when I hit 9, I really still wanted to be on television. I gave up by 10. I've given up now, so don't worry about it too much. Don't feel sorry for me. But at 9, and I really wanted to be on Funhouse, another show which 75% you've never heard of before. And I said to my mum, I was like, Mum, look, I've watched Funhouse. It's non-stop now. I'll always say by the bell, I watch it more than anything else. At the end of the show, there's no information. No one tells you, oh, this is how you get on Funhouse. This is how you can compete on Funhouse. This is where we're based. The Funhouse is like this address, Funhouse address. None of that. So like, how do I get on Funhouse? And my mum said to me, she was like, okay, you see, it's usually, you know, a drama school kid perhaps, or, you know, it might be like a son or daughter of the producer on the show. And I was just like, that's horrifyingly unfair. That's so upsetting. So, anyway, I had something else to say about it, but I'm just going to finish up because I've forgotten the rest of that bit. But it's my first gig. You know what I mean? My first gig. First gig for God's sake. So, I'm going to just finish because I've probably got like a minute. My internal clock is. I set that whole thing up. I set that whole thing up, Raquel. The whole time. You put your laptop away. Thank you, mate. I really appreciate that. So I like to go to coffee shops. I went to this coffee shop and I walked in, and I like to go to coffee shops. It's not a big deal. It's my only vice. It's not a weird thing. It's like, I'm not like a hipster or something. I just went to a coffee shop. It's like I just do it. Sometimes, most days it's fine. I don't like bring my own almond milk to the coffee shop. I just go there, order coffee. Don't think anyway. So I went to this coffee shop. And this girl, and I can't do the accent, so I'm going to definitely do the accent. This girl was there, and you could tell she had that vibe. She was like 5 weeks in London. And we got talking or something. She made my coffee. She asked me what coffee, and she's Australian. And she asked me where I was from, and I said, oh, you know, I'm a Geordie. And she went, okay, here goes. It's going to sound like Dame Edna, I think. Why would you say that? And I'm so sorry to any Australian people here. It's just my lack of talent. That's all it is. Why would you say that? And I said, what do you mean? I'm from Newcastle, I'm a Geordie. She says, but why would you say it though? And I was like, well, it's just where I'm from. It's not big. And I could tell the girl next to her, I was like, oh God, this has obviously been happening all day. And she goes, oh, well, that's just what I am. It's like the name of people where I'm from that were called Geordies. It's like, what? And she says, oh, I thought it was another word for stupid. Anyway, there we go. Thank you very much.